You know, it's whatever, baby. You know, it's whatever, baby. You know, it's whatever, baby. You know, it's whatever, baby.
All right, so we're here at a wonderful show, whatever by Hektek, by yours truly, Hektek from Hektek Desires. Now we're moving platforms. We're on Spotify and we're moving to other, platforms as well as we go on. Also on YouTube. I also started uploading stuff on YouTube. But so we're in a transition. We're doing stuff a little bit differently. We're moving a little different. Um, Having some of the same people back on, but we're gonna let it do what it do. So for all yous that don't know, this is Lady O from Lady O Productions. She be doing her shit lately. I've been seeing her. So go ahead and introduce yourself. If people haven't, listened to the last one, go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, my naughty and sinful people, I am Lady O from Lady O Productions, and I pretty much film just about everything. Fetish, fighting, adult, you name it, I'll try it.
So yes, you've definitely started crossing over into some. I saw a video the other night, and I was like, "Oh
Which one
word,
was that?
oh word, this is what we doing now, huh? Okay. Oh, when I was hot on you weren't doing all this stuff. Now, you know what I mean. I'm close to my retirement age now, and now you up here doing everything. It's no fair.
You know what it is? You gotta do it little bit by little bit.
Yeah.
That way the fans get all excited because they're like, "Oh, what craziness is she gonna do next?" And that's
No,
that's how you
no,
do it.
I think we talked about this last episode too, or last show. How some people come out the gates anal, double anal, triple anal. You'd be like, yo, what?
There's nothing left for them to like surprise people with.
No, they're pretty much stuck at that. They'd be like, because now when you pull back the reins, they're like, well, where's the anal stuff at? Like, you stop doing this, now you're just doing blowjobs. Like, yeah, I get it. You definitely got to build
That's
it up.
that's why I think that people should do a little bit, and then once they're ready to move to the craziest shit, then be like, surprise, surprise, like that lady from the meme. But
So
not do everything at once.
So, what
There's no
made you
surprise.
decide to start getting into the more hardcore scenes yourself, not production wise,
Well,
yourself?
well, because I seen that everybody else is doing it. And then because the majority of the talent that I work with are doing adult, they kept asking me, so when are you going to do this and that? I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah,
What is wrong?
right. Like
Start
clutching
laughing.
pearls and shit.
How dare you? Now I would start laughing. I was like, I don't know. I gotta ease into it. I gotta
Yeah.
ease into it. And then I think I had mentioned this in the last one. On my timeline, this girl comes on the timeline, and I was like, wow, she's got cojones, man, because she was chunky, and I was like, it's like she don't care. She got everything all out there. She don't give a fuck. I was like, fuck, what the fuck am I fucking worried about this fucking bouncer? Yeah, I could do that shit too. Fuck it.
So I'm gonna spill the beans. I told her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I told her, and she said at that moment that she was going through some stuff, and me telling her that brightened her day up.
Yeah,
So
because I was like, yo, you have to be secure with yourself and be like, fuck it, in order to just go ahead and do it. Because now the way that things are, everything's open. So there's something for everybody. You don't have to be a fucking stick anymore, You don't have to be a certain height. You could be whatever. Hell, you could fucking look like a gremlin from Gremlins and be
and
doing
still
all
make
sorts
it.
of shit.
So I know COVID's kind of ushered a little bit of that, right? Because before COVID, it was more shallow. I'm not saying the industry still isn't shallow, but it was even more shallow, right? Have
Mm-hmm.
you definitely in the past couple of years seen more of a change where it's now regular looking people doing some of the freaky shit you ever seen.
Yes, and I also see that there's more people now open to working with everybody, where before there was only like people working with certain types of people. Now it's like open. I mean, you still encounter every once in a while a person that they have a certain aesthetic that they're looking for their brand. So if you bring up the subject of doing a collab and trading with them, they'll be like, no,
You gotta
because
pay,
of
right?
this, that, you know, or sometimes they'll tell you, well, I won't collab with you because you're not the aesthetic that I'm looking for. But if you're going to pay me to work with you, more than happy to. And then there's some people that even if you offer to pay them, they're like, no, I don't want to work with your ass. Fuck you, you know.
Facts.
We've had
Facts.
some of those.
Facts. Which is crazy because I don't mind the middle person, right? The one that says, hey, you don't fit my brand. However, if you're willing to pay, these are my rates, you know, blase, blase. I hate the ones that be like, I would love to work with you and just string you along, knowing damn well they never want to shoot with you. Just tell me you don't want to shoot. Because once you tell me you don't want to shoot with me, cool, we're okay. I'm good. I'm going to just go and move to someone else that I feel will work with.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of me always, every so often, spinning the block, hoping that maybe this is the chance or maybe the stars have aligned at this time. Now we could do something when you really, in your mind, never, ever, ever wanted to work with me to begin with. Just be honest. Like, we're adults for a reason. Some are older than others. And I
But you know
get
what
it.
it is too? Is that a lot of people don't know how to handle it in a business way. Because you could very nicely say to someone, well, you don't fit the aesthetic of what I usually have for my brand, but
Mm-hmm.
we can still work together if you pay me for my time and vice versa.
Yeah.
Or you could just say, listen, you don't fit the aesthetic for my brand currently,
Mm-hmm.
but come check with me in 6 months or in a year because maybe I might be shooting something more different.
Right, right, right.
You know, so
Right,
there's always that.
right. No,
And
and
everybody knows how to do that.
yeah. No, definitely, definitely. And there's a way to do it. Some people go straight for the jugglers, be like, "Ugh, you thought we would work together." You know what I mean? It's like, but you
And
know
that's unnecessary.
what's also crazy is I don't know if you've encountered this or not, where someone didn't want to work with you years ago or their rates were super inflated. Now, years later, they're not as hot anymore. They're not really on people's radars. Either their rates have dropped significantly, or now they're like, hey, how can we work together? You know, kind of deal.
I haven't had that scenario, but I've had some, you know, a couple people that in the very beginning didn't want to work with me, you know, and they were just kind of like whatever. But then all of a sudden, once I made my bones, yeah, I want to definitely work with you. Like, yes, you know. And but you also have to also be prepared for those people that you might follow you and you might follow them, but yet, even though you're kind of friendly, they don't want to work with you. So
Right,
you
right,
have to
right.
be prepared for that too, because I kind of had something not too long ago where there was somebody that I wanted to work with. They follow me, I follow them. I do notice that their material was a little interesting in fact that there wasn't as diverse as it should be, but I never
Mm-hmm.
questioned that because, you know, we all shoot different things. The person mentioned they were coming my way. They were coming to New York.
Mm-hmm.
I sent them, you know, a DM saying, hey, you know, if you're coming to New York, you know, I shoot this and that and the third, you know, if you're interested, let me know. We can collab. And they pretty much straight up told me that I did not fit the aesthetic for their brand. Now, the way
Okay.
that they said it wasn't a very nice way. Like, personally, I would like to teach them how to say it properly, but we'll keep it at that.
Okay.
So my response was, well, that's not a problem. No worries. What's your rate? And
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay you for 2 10-minute videos. No response.
So that means they just didn't want to work with you, period.
They just didn't, yeah. Even though they follow me, they just so I didn't get pissed off. I didn't like make a big deal about it. I was like, yeah, you know, it is what it is. Now, will I save that DM for a year or two from now when the person comes up to me and says they want to work? I'll be like, wait, hold on. What about this? Yes, because that's spiteful.
Um, I am too. Sometimes when people are spun the block and I notice they gave me some outrageous rate and then years later, and this is the thing about models. I know they engage with so many people that I think they forget who they say what to.
Yes.
I keep everything, right? So I will go back and scroll, but I'll ask them again, like, what are your rates, right? Things change, situations change, who knows, right? And I've literally had people come back with a $300 difference of what they last quoted me. Or every time I ask them, they quote me something different.
And you also have people that'll quote you session rates rather than clip rates.
Ah, yes. Treating everyone like, yes. That's, I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves, honestly. Don't, especially, you've gotten one of my, did I ever send you like one of my professional, like, anyways, I'll have to
And the
send it to
photo
you.
shoot ones, I've seen a couple of them.
Right. So it's laid out. It's, who I am, what I'm looking, time, date, whatever, right? How you don't read any of this and still think, or you might read it, you glimpse it, you whatever, and you still think I'm a trick. Like most tricks ain't saying, "Hey, I'm a award winning, blah blah blah. Here's who I am. This is what. These are my references. These are the people I know." Most tricks aren't doing any of that. So now I do catch the ass a little bit because I'm just like, A, either you didn't read this shit at all, or B, this is just your common practice, and no wonder you're in the situations that you be in.
I think a lot of it has to do with they don't even bother to read it. And because sometimes they have tons of people DMing them, tons of people emailing them.
It's just copy paste, copy paste,
Just,
copy paste.
yeah. And that's pretty much what it is. And then there's been times where it's like you send somebody an email or a DM because you know they're going to be in town and you want to work with them, regardless whether you want to hire them and you're going to pay them or whether you're going to do a collab. And they don't even look at the thing. And by the time that they look at it, that space that you had for them has already been filled because now you're working with somebody else during that particular time, that particular hour, that day, because they didn't look at their messages.
No, 100%. And okay, so this is a great topic, and I'm gonna stay on it for a minute because, geez, Louise, I've had even recently where I sent out, me and the model agreed on the rates, the whole nine. I sent her out the call sheet. I sent her out the call sheet days before the actual shoot. An hour, maybe about an hour before the scene, I'm already ready. I've got this set up. I'm ready, right? She hits me with, I didn't know you were this far. It would cost me more to take an Uber back and forth, and it would leave me with none of the, because I was paying her, it would leave me with little to none of the rate. And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't you check this 2-3 days ago? You could even checked it a day before.
Yeah, and she could have mentioned something, and something there could have been arrangements made.
But this is, and then when you put those people on the do not shoot list, because that to me is unprofessional. If someone sends you a call sheet, immediately let me see how far it is so I backward plan, right? So if the call sheet says 7 o'clock, I'm doing everything I know backwards and planning stuff out so I make sure that I'm where I need to be at 7 o'clock. Checking how far, even when I was in Vegas, I'm checking how far stuff is so I could go ahead and say, okay, I need to leave by such and such time and do such and such and do this and do that. I just don't understand how so many people don't.
It's surprising. The same thing where people don't even give you a confirmation. I like to give a confirmation the day, a week before the shoot, and the
Mhm.
day before. They're like, "You sure we're on? Okay, you got the time." And I make accommodations too, because it's like if they don't want to come to shoot wherever I'm going to be shooting, like, okay, you want to shoot in your hotel? Well, where's your hotel at? And I'll go over there.
Yeah.
Or if they don't have a ride to get to me,
That's a
if
that's
if I'm in a good
crazy to me.
mood, if I'm in a good mood,
You swing up.
I'll be like, I'll come get you. If I'm in a good mood, it
I
depends.
had to stop. I stopped doing all that shit. I really, really did because I at the end of the day, it's never appreciated. B, especially from the production side, if we book the location, we're paying the model, camera person, whatever, we're already negative in the whole as is. And you're telling me you can't get to where you need to get this money that I'm offering to pay you? That's a you problem. Because if someone says, "Hey, Tech, I got a job. It's an hour away from you." So I even give you a backstory. I live about 3.5, 4 hours from Miami, right?
Okay.
At the time when I first got into the industry, I was fucked up. I didn't have a car, license was fucked, everything was fucked, right? Someone booked me in Miami. I was like, shit, I gotta go get this money, right? So I'm like, how am I gonna do this? I'm calling everybody, like, yo, can you take me down to Miami? Don't worry about shit. I got you. You're good. This and this. So one of my homeboys, he came through in the clutch. I think I got paid maybe 300, somewhere around there. I gave dude half. I gave him half. Hey, here you go. Thank you. You know what I mean? Because I know tolls, gas, XYZ. Hey, here you go. You see what I'm saying? But I still did whatever I needed to do to get to wherever I needed to get this money.
Yep.
But the problem is a lot of people don't want to lose any money. They want 100% profit out the gate.
But you gotta spend money in order to make money. That's the way it goes.
Yeah. But if you notice, a lot of people in this industry don't want to spend money.
They don't. They really don't.
And it's really sad because it's like you want to be taken seriously, but I hate the comparison of like people want to compare us to kind of Hollywood. They want a lot of the same credentials or whatever as people in Hollywood. And I get it, but those Hollywood actors and actresses, however they got to wherever they got to, they have paid their dues, a lot of them. I've watched old movies and seen someone just walk across the screen. I'm like, oh shit, that's such a. At that time, they were no name. They were just a stand in or just a blimp
Yep.
on the screen. They paid their dues. People in this industry don't want to pay their dues. They don't want no hardship. They don't want no losses. They don't want no. It's not reality.
It's not, and they don't think about proper etiquette for. It's like I said, you may not want to work with someone at that particular moment, but don't burn that bridge because you don't know who that person knows, what networking that person has, that you might need later on. So just be like, hey, not at this moment, but maybe later on we can, and just keep it moving.
Right. No, I try not to burn. If I burn a bridge, I meant to. I would never. I've already come in my mind. I will never need you ever in life.
There's a few people that I feel like that about, you know. But am I cordial to them when I need to be? You know, if we're in a situation where we're in the same place and I have to be cordial, yeah, because you have to present yourself a certain way. Like if you're in an event and there's somebody in the booth right in front of you that you can't stand, you're not going to be a jerk because there's people watching you, right?
Well, what do you categorize as a jerk? Because I'll still make them seem like I don't see them.
You don't need to acknowledge them. You don't need to say hello. How do you do? What a lovely.
Okay.
You don't
I'm
need
just
to
making
do all
sure.
that.
I want to be on the right side of etiquette.
You don't need to do all that. But if there's a fan that happens to go to your booth and goes and is standing right in the middle, and they want to take a picture with the both of you, you're not gonna be like, nah, I ain't taking a picture with that with that piece of shit. No, you're like,
I
oh
won't
yeah,
say piece of shit. I'll just be like, shit, I got something to go do. Fuck,
I'll do
I'll
one of
be
these.
back. Yeah. I'll be back. Cause no, I think you know me well enough to know if I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. I can't fake it.
Listen, there's been times where I've been tagged in like posting something and it has like 2 or 3 people that I don't fuck with anymore. I don't get my panties in a bunch. I'm like, hey, whatever. I just try to like not make
That
any snarky comments, you know.
that I could deal with, right? Because it's whatever. We're in a group and someone tagged cool, whatever. I'll even like it and retweet it. I probably won't say anything, but I'll, or if I do, then I'm being petty. And, I'm being, because now I know for a fact you seen what I posted and I know you seen my comment. But other than that, I don't really care. But now I've even had to tag people that I don't fuck with in content that we shot years back.
Mm-hmm. I've had to
I'm
do that.
okay with that. I'll still tag you. I don't care. Whether you reshare it, retweet it, whatever the fuck, leave the conversation, I'm cool with that. But I did my part.
Yeah, because you do have to like tag the person and say, you know, hey, this person was, unless it's something that it's automatic, like when you're doing it
Yeah,
through
the mini vids, yeah.
and it does the automatic thing. There's nothing you can do. But if you are the one doing the promo for that particular video that day, or you are reposting, hey, this video, in case you forgot, it's in my store, you know, then you gotta tag the person.
All right, so real quick, so we're not totally rude because we're talking about etiquette, and I have not introduced this young lady, Angel. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. So if
Hi,
you haven't,
Angel.
oh, Angel, this
Hi.
is Lady O. I'm
Hi, Lady
pointing like y'all can see each other. Like I'm. um. So Angel, real quick, we're talking about certain etiquettes and certain protocols in the industry. But go ahead real quick and introduce yourself and what you do and who you are to the listeners.
All right, everybody. I'm Angel Grave, and I'm an entertainer in the adult industry. I've done pretty much everything you can think of in the adult industry, but now I've decided to put my next few years maybe to do it producing some porn and going from in front of the camera to behind the camera. So.
Okay. So you kind of mesh well with this group or will mesh well with this group. Lady O's a producer, but Lady O did it backwards.
Exactly. I
She
did
was
it.
behind the camera and then went now in front of the camera.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
different.
Me, I've always done both, but
Mhm.
now I'm gonna be more. I don't know what I'm gonna be, but later on I'm gonna be more behind the camera.
Yeah. And gosh, I wish I would have gotten into this conversation earlier because I have a lot to say about that. I don't know if you still want to continue, but I've just had, and the day that I've had is just what you're talking about. Just is it goes along with my day because I've had two cancels today myself. So. But I'm just gonna put my 2 cents into this one, and I don't think it's just the adult industry. I think it's adults, period. They are
Yeah.
not taking accountability for their actions. I don't know what's going on with this world, but I do believe that. I know it's in the adult industry, but I see it everywhere, everywhere. Just people don't consider other people. They're not
It's
considerate,
No,
everywhere. It's
kind, or
everywhere.
generous anymore. You don't see that.
It's
no,
everywhere.
because they feel it's
Adult,
just,
fetish, life, everywhere.
yeah, they feel it's like, I don't know if they feel like, first of all, there's a big misconception with producers in this industry to begin with. They feel like as soon as they come on our set and leave and we exchange money or whatever deal we worked out, that we're just going to be like Scrooge McDuck, fucking money's just going to be flying from all angles, hitting us in the face. You know what I mean? We're just going to be filthy rich. And it's like, no, if I make money off of you, it's going to take me a full year to recoup whatever I paid off. That's how I think,
Yeah.
anyways. If I pay a
Yeah.
model today, I feel like I will recoup my expenses on them next year.
Mm.
That's just me. I never look at a model and be like, I better make my money back in a month or else this is, you know what I mean? No.
Yeah, well, but I don't think there's any models out there that could do it. Boy, I'd like to see that because I want them to hire her first thing.
100%. 100%. So they feel like we're just rolling in all this dough that we could just be like, you cancel on this, no problem. That's why I stopped booking hotel rooms, honestly, because I got tired of booking the room, setting it up, and then I'm just doing this like, hey, are you on your way? Crickets. Not even an acknowledgement, hey, I'm not coming. One time I booked I booked the location, I swear to you. I text her an hour before the scene. And I'm like, hey, just let me know when you're on your way. This is where I'm at, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, well, I totally forgot I had to go pick up my brother from the airport. So I'm thinking she's talking about Tampa. So I'm like, all right, hey, if you're late, I get it. No problems. Just after you pick up your brother, swing through. Woo. She's like, no, Orlando, which is like an hour and a half away from me. And I'm thinking to myself, you just found this out. People don't, the times of booking random tickets and just sporadically showing up somewhere, those times are so far in between. Like, no
Right.
one's doing that like
This
that
is
no
why
more.
people need like a calendar or some kind of a plan, or even use your phone to like put in the date of where what shoot you have with whom, where you have
If
to.
I'm making money, I'm there. I don't understand it. If I've got money to make, I'm gonna be there,
Some
I
people
don't
don't even
I don't
show up
get it.
anymore.
Yeah, they
Even if
don't even
it's
show
a date.
up.
Yeah.
Damn.
They don't even, that's the thing. I would rather someone say, you know what? This ain't me. I rethought it. I'm okay. Hey, sweetheart, I
Yeah, you can
appreciate
accept
it.
that because they respected you enough and didn't waste your time. People just waste
Or
people's time.
even like
Lack of respect.
for
Right.
instance, like I understand like if you have a shoot, but then a session comes up or a paid shoot comes up, that you're gonna actually go for that shoot rather than the one that you're gonna collab in. But in that case, you tell the person, listen, this session came up or this paid gig came up. Can we reschedule?
Okay.
Right.
That's the correct way to do it. Not just not show up or not say anything. Well,
I got bogarted by a paid shoot in Vegas, and I felt the way because, and this is the only reason I felt the way. We then got through the negotiations. We then got through what we were going to do. We then got to do where I sent her the call sheet and she sent me her paperwork and all that stuff. We then got that far. We then got to where we're on the calendar. That's too many steps to then be like, hey, this person's going to pay me, so I'm going to take that. So sorry about your luck. No, because first and foremost, something that I am very big on, be a person of your word.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Only
whether
the
it's
person
paid,
has their word.
right, whether it's paid or collab or whatever, whoever got to the gate first and you said, yes, this is what I'm going to do, in my mind, you got to honor that.
Or at
And
least
if you
like say,
don't,
or at least say something. But there's been people that they don't even show up. They don't respond to your email. They don't even respond to the text when they were
so how do you
supposed.
see it when they're doing the shoot and doing all the behind the scenes and be like, yeah, look at me, and you be like, oh, you were supposed to be here 2 hours ago, and you laid up.
I had someone that I was supposed to work with them. This is like a while back, and they were like, "I'm gonna be a couple minutes late." I was like, "All right, no worries. There's traffic. All right, no worries." They hadn't even left where they were.
They were on CP time.
Bro, they
Wow.
hadn't even left where they were, and I was like, "You know what? Do you want to reschedule?" Because I just
so
want you to be.
so Angel, there's certain things I don't know if you, Lady O, you probably have one. I know I do. I have a do not shoot list anymore, right? So if
I
someone does
do.
something that I'm like, I'm good on you, and I put them on the do not shoot list. So shit like that would have put them on a do not shoot list
Okay.
because
Because they're hinky, like lying about being in traffic and not even and being at home. If they're gonna lie about that,
No,
who knows what they're gonna lie about?
right.
Crazy.
So Angel, what made you decide to go into production?
Um, I want to have a significant other, and I men just don't respect what I do. And I don't know if they don't, well, some of that, and then some people, some men feel threatened by it. And I get it because I don't think if I found a partner that I'd want to share him either in that way. So I get it. So I figure, if I'm producing the porn, it's not so bad. Might be able to find a significant other. If I don't, I don't. But I do. I long for companionship. And but I'm very picky because I've been through a lot of shit over the years, and I've dealt with a lot of shit, and I had to learn over the years to love myself. But
100%.
yeah, that's the main reason is basically because I'd like to have a significant other, and it's very hard in this career to date. Very, very hard.
So it's crazy because we're, Lord Jesus, I could talk about this for fucking decades. It's even harder finding someone in the industry to date. It's
Yes,
bad across the fucking board
it is. It's really bad.
because I mean I'm dealing with someone who's in the vanilla sector. She definitely doesn't like what I do at all,
Right.
at all. But at the same token, this is how she met,
Mhm.
right? So
Plus, you have to have an open mind too. It's different when it's work versus when it's with your significant other.
Yeah, see, but they don't
There's
get it.
they don't
emotions.
get it.
They don't
They
get
don't
it.
get it.
They think that like it's just like it's just like regular, and we all know that it's not, but they
Yeah.
don't get it. And I've told, like, there's one guy I was seeing, I tell him over and over again, he's like, "Oh, did you have fun? Was it all?" And I'm like, "It's not like that." I was like, "It's business. Like, you meeting somebody, you don't even have time to
And
even get into
sometimes, and
intimacy
sometimes,
involved."
sometimes you don't even get to enjoy what you're doing. You don't
Exactly.
get to enjoy your job because you got to stop here. Wait, this angle. No, wait, this angle. Wait, at the light. Wait, stop right there.
Yeah.
You don't even get to enjoy what the hell you're doing.
Yeah,
Right.
then there's no intimacy involved in it unless you
No.
guys have already priorly been together. Maybe you like each other. That might happen, but most likely that's out of the ball game. And to
Yeah.
me, sex isn't sex without intimacy. So
Sometimes they just don't get it. They're like,
mm-mm.
oh, so it must be fun all the well, I make it look fun all the time, but
I
Yeah,
tell them, I
right.
tell them
That's our
too. I tell
job.
them too. You think I'm doing all this shit? Like I'm not fucking like that in real life. Like I'm like, hey, you know what I mean? I'm doing so much. I'm lazy when it's in my personal life.
I was trying to flex this shit.
Right,
Pillow
right.
princess.
Hell yeah, I'm a pillow. Go ahead and ride this. Yeah, go ahead and ride. Yeah. You know, oh, you like the ride? Perfect. Thank you. 100%. So it's totally different when you're on set though, because you're right. It's like all these distractions, all this, and it's worse when you're doing a bunch of scenes during the convention because you're literally, hey, how you doing? Okay, sign paperwork. Test, cool. All right, so what are we doing? Okay, this is what we're doing? Cool. Okay, set up the camera. Okay, got it. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, okay. Hey, see you later. I'm gonna send you content. How you want the content? Okay, I'm gonna send you content. Bye. And you off to your next shoot.
You got, and you gentlemen, you overdo it. You like to do like 10, 20 shoots in like 2 days. And you guys, poor guys, can't do that. But you're trying so damn hard to get that shit
Listen,
done.
when I was in Vegas, I scheduled a shoot a day. You hear me?
Oh,
I'm
that's
not.
not bad. That's
I
not
think
bad.
I
It
think
good.
one day I did do two,
Right.
maybe.
Wow.
But I'm older now, so I know. But
Yeah.
when I first got in the game, it was like 4 a day.
Right, right.
I'm not doing that shit no more.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's too
coming
much to
out.
put on your plate. That's too much stress, I imagine.
And
It's
then
gotta be
if
a
you
lot of
if
stress.
and then with logistics, you gotta plan them shits out just right.
Yes. Be hydrated, drink plenty of
You're
water.
literally like at the drive-through eating your food, drinking on your way to the next shoot. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So no, it's wild. So, but I'm not stopping necessarily because of a relationship. I'm just stopping because this fucking industry. I don't even know what to
Sucks
say.
your
That's going to
soul
be
out.
right.
It sucks your soul out.
That's pretty much basically all you gotta say because everybody
Yeah.
can take it from there.
Right. This industry, because I'm a person that, yes, I get it. It's sex. I get it. We get to have fun. Whoo, yay. Ah, come on your face. You know, all the great shit. But at the end of the day, it's about business. And there's so many people that's in this industry not about business.
But I don't get it. So why the hell are they in it? I guess just clout chasing or getting the fans and maybe feeding the ego or something. Because
It's a lot of ego.
What they are here for.
It's a lot of ego. It's a lot. Someone else said it best. It's a lot of people that probably weren't popular or had a lot going on before this industry. Now that they're in this industry and they're seeing the attention that they're getting, they're like, "Oh, I am somebody." Yes, everyone's
Right.
somebody, but come on, pump your brakes because nobody outside this area knows who the fuck you are.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And you got to be humble. And you got to be humble about it too.
Yeah.
Oh, because the people that ain't humble,
I don't think they
them
probably
falls
last very
be
long, do
everything.
they?
And like we said before, boundaries, limitations, consent, you got to get that out there. You got to get that out there. Can you change something once you get to the set? If you speak to the person and you guys communicate and they say, hey, because there's been situations where
you
I
had
was
to make some
supposed to
play
do
change.
strictly a fetish shoot with someone. And then once I got there, they looked at me and they were like, hey, I heard about this, that you did this and that with this person. Is it okay?
I know what I want from you.
Is it okay we do this? And then I'll be like, well, perhaps. You know, it depends who it is.
Right.
But I've had that. But we spoke about it. It's not like all of
Yeah.
a sudden in the middle of your shoot, you know, the person, you know, whips a titty out or whips a penis. Like, excuse me.
So can we be honest about this whole consent, non-consent, whatever the fuck's been going on lately? A lot of that shit's personal. A lot of that shit's not even business.
Oh hell yeah. And the other thing too is, and I can't stress this enough, and not only for the females, but for the males, they, them. If something happens while you're shooting and you are not happy, say cut. And if you can't say cut, once you're done filming, tell the person, hey, I didn't like this that you did. I am not happy with it. Don't wait hours or days
or years.
or years. Say it then. Say it at that very moment, because unless you tell the other person, they're not going to know whether they did something wrong or not. A lot of times guys don't think and they just do whatever.
No.
But
Yeah, especially when it comes to sex.
Yeah, you have to say something.
And I'm so overly scared now. I remember I was doing a dry bone scene. So it was a dry humping and girl did the hand job, right? Part of it. And I got ready to come, or I came. And she's like, "Oh, had you let me know, I would have swallowed it." I was like, "Well, we didn't talk about that." So yeah. You are not jamming me up. The fuck? Next thing I mean, yeah, open your mouth. Oh, he made me, you know what I mean? Nope, we didn't talk about that, so I'm not doing it.
Yes.
I wonder the amount of men that they do something like that, or the girl just sucks it without saying anything, and the guy goes, "Hey, I'm not happy that you just put it in my mouth like that."
Listen, and if we talk about, because let's be honest, consent goes on both sides. I've had where I walked in the convention floors and girls just walked up and grabbed my dick. I ain't tell them they could grab my dick. I mean, you know what I mean?
You were violated.
I really didn't feel violated, but I'm just saying I could have.
This is true.
I could have, but I didn't. I was like, ooh, okay. I've had where I was filming, and this is probably one of my favorite scenes, and this is why. I'm filming, right? And the girl's head's back towards me, and the dude's fucking her. As she's like this, she reaches up and just starts playing with my dick. And I was just like, I love my job at this moment. But she asked me my consent. I'm just saying. But who am I? I ain't a snitch, though. I ain't going to tell on her. I did say something to her later. I'm like,
after you're done.
Yeah, I was like, oh, hey.
Be like, hey, I wasn't part of that scene.
Yeah, hey, but you thank me in your own special way. Yeah. So, but because we often never talk about when females cross the consent or cross the boundary. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot more than is generally known. I've known of girls on girl violations.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me, but I just let it go. I was like, okay.
Well, I mean, at some point too, depending on the age bracket, how we feel about certain things, it might be something like, you know what, that ain't even really a big deal. Cool. You know what I mean? Now, if I told you my hard nose is you sticking a finger up my butt, and you end up sticking a finger up my butt, then we have to talk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but if it's like a hard, hey, I don't really like my balls played with, but you end up playing with my balls, I'm okay with it. Yeah, it's whatever. Because I understand certain things look aesthetically pleasing to the film, to scenes, so it's whatever.
But that's like, I think I told you about that one video that I was doing out in Vegas, where even though I knew the person and we were friendly with each other, it wasn't discussed what she could do, what she couldn't do. Next thing I know, she removes my bra quicker than a drunken frat boy at a frat party, and I was like, "Whoa, boobs are!" I'm like, "Oh my god, my boobs are out! What the fuck?" But I went with it. Now they're all over the place. But that was the first time.
Was that your coming out video?
Yes, yeah, pretty much. Boobs are out. What was I going to do at that point?
I mean, yeah.
Right now.
Right.
Yeah, right now they're everywhere.
But have y'all noticed it's been pretty quiet 2024, knock on wood. But last year, you could get on Twitter without it being another allegation or another this or another that. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. They were wilding out.
And it's
That's
always
for the end of
too,
the year.
if you notice, the people that were getting outed weren't even like really big names. They had a big following, but
Mhm.
you know, who is this person? Who is Slick Dick 99? Who is like who is this person? Like I've never when you go on their page, it's all them just stroking their own dick. So it's like, how y'all? I miss the times where people used to go on your Twitter, scroll up, jump in your DMs, and be like, "Hey, I like your work. Let's work together." Not well. If you have less than 50,000 followers, you gotta pay me for a paid collab, and if you got 100,000, I'll suck your dick for free. Like I'm so over that. I'm so
Not only
over
that, but
that.
people can buy followers too. There's places that they'll give
Yeah.
you
I
all the
keep
followers you
saying
want.
it, and people keep acting like I'm talking out of my ass when I say it.
No, because somebody, when I first started on Twitter, somebody came to me and was like, I basically said I could pay them to basically give me followers. I was
Mhm.
like, no, I'd rather get in my own way because I would feel bad about it because
Yeah.
I would know deep down that those aren't really followers. That's just make believe, and that's not going to make me feel good about myself. But yeah, I know that's a
Yeah,
definite.
they do it for Twitter. They do it for Instagram as well.
Think about it. Angel, how long you been in the industry?
Well, I've been in the industry, in the adult industry for about 13 years, but as far as like doing porn
Yeah.
like mainstream, I've only been doing that for about 2.5 years. I'm
Okay.
like a late bloomer. I always learn where the party is too late. So, because I'm 51. So,
There's
but
nothing wrong with that. And Lady O, I know you've been in a while. You do do y'all ladies remember when if a guy had over 20,000 followers, that was like a major thing.
okay.
Now everybody has.
Now
Yeah,
bro, I see a dude pop up 300,000. I'm like, bro, where?
Yeah, if somebody has 300,000 followers in the industry, you should know who the fuck that is. For
And not only
sure.
that, a lot of
Like there
times
should be no doubt that you know who that person is.
a lot of times when you click on it, all they have is an OnlyFans. They don't have
Right.
That's it.
many vids. They don't have a clips for sale. They haven't worked with anybody major. All they do is solo work, and they have that many followers. And you're like, what?
But they know that's clickbait. All I have to do is have that much followers. And you'll be surprised how many even big names will be like, can we collab? Can we collab?
Mhm.
Can we collab? And it's
Mhm.
like, so all that, because that's why people are getting them. They're not getting the followers because it's make them money. They're getting the followers because it makes them look more real to whomever they're trying to work with. And the
Entice them.
ladies are falling for it. I've seen big names fall for POV 98 because he has 300,000 followers. And I'm like, but that's all he shoots. Because you remember back in the day, if you only shot POV, you weren't a real creator. Now
Mhm.
all these POV guys are popping up.
Now everybody's a creator and they do POV.
Yeah, if you're creating something, creating any kind of video or whatever, then yes, that you're a creator. That's just, I mean, it could be anything. If you're actually doing it and doing it on your own and making something, it's a creation, no matter what it is, you
I tell
know?
people I can't be a photographer or videographer if I never turn my camera on.
Right, right.
I could have a camera, but
True.
if I never turn it on, I'm not a photographer. You know, I'm a hobbyist. You know, that's what they would call it, a hobbyist, someone who occasionally dabbles in it. You know, just like a model. All these girls talking about their models. I'm like, well, who you model for? Do you have an active portfolio? Can I see your portfolio? Who's the photographers that are taking your pictures? And these girls be like, well, I used to be. Okay, cool. I could do used to be. How long ago? 10 years ago. Chick, you ain't even the same person you were 10 years ago.
Yeah, you're not even
Like, do
making
you have
money
your
off of it
headshots?
anymore. So how can you say you are it if you ain't even making any money off of it?
10 years?
Crazy.
I'm not even the same person I was 5 years ago. You remember I used to have
Yeah.
locks. I don't have them shits no more.
Hold
So yeah, so like how can you call yourself something that you're not actively doing? That's my thing. Like you can't call yourself something that you're not actively doing.
This is true. This is very true.
You know, like I said, this industry is becoming, and I like certain aspects of it, right? Because like you said too, Lady O, you got so many different walks of lives, working with so many different other walks of lives. It's no longer this paper cutter bullshit. It's like different shit now. So I
Different.
like that. But with that has also allowed this other bullshit to be introduced to our industry as well.
And the other thing too is that people got to realize is that people, regardless whether you are a professional wrestler, a session wrestler, a fetish actress or actor, or an adult actor or actress, we all have lives. This is entertainment. We're entertaining the masses.
Right.
So you can't expect the person to be thinking 24/7 porn, 24/7 fetish, 24/7 wrestling, 24/7, they want to fight or they want to be ball gagged. No, because you have a life outside of that.
Yeah.
Many of us have multiple jobs outside of this as well, you know? So you got to think about that. And I've seen people where it's like there's a lot of adult stars that they do other things, like, they help out with animals, or they help out at a soup kitchen, or they draw, or they sing. And they'll post something that has to do with the other activity they do. And right below the comments, you see some asshole.
Shut up and suck some dick.
Yes, exactly. Oh, show me your
wow.
kitties. Like, dude, she's talking about her fucking dog. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I mean, I get it though, because like, yes, Burger King and McDonald's have charities that they are involved in, but they're not really talking about it like that. They're like, when you go to them, they'll be like, "Hey, do you want to donate to this?" That's as far as it goes. I do feel like our adult page should be about our adult shit. Anything outside of that, you're now distracting your core audience from what you really want them. I get it. You may have a PhD. I get it. You might be a microbiologist and you might do this and you might do that. But no one gives a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you start adding your personal life into it, that's just going to bring some kind of controversy. Because when you bring personal life into it, you start showing like what your values are and things, or whatever it is that you believe in. And then you've got people that believe differently. So I do the same thing. Like, I've got a Facebook page that is my personal page. I don't post none of them. I'm always posting like quotes. That's what I do with my personal Facebook page. I may have like 50 friends. It's horrible. But yeah, I keep posts separate because I don't want to. I stay away from drama as much as possible. I don't get into the he said, she said shit. In fact, it irritates me really, really badly.
Yeah.
I hate it. And I wish that less people would worry about everybody else's business and worry about their own. But that's maybe a better world. That'll never happen. But yeah, so that I think you're right about that. That yeah, you have to have your personal page and your personal life separate, completely separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I seen someone, and this is my huge no. I hate when I see this. Like, hate. And I know they say hate is a strong word, but I hate when I see this. I have to collect my thoughts for a second. On this video, you're sucking dick, getting fucked. The post right under, you're sharing pictures of your kids.
Ooh, no, you can't do that. You can't do that like that. You cannot
Oh,
do
no,
that. Most
no.
definitely you cannot.
No, no, no. I wouldn't even imagine how anybody could even like think that. That gets me too is like how people, what are they thinking when they're doing this? Like,
You
So
can't
you
do
think
that.
a dude's gonna be like jacking off and then he'd be like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
that's not good.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Cool, you're a good parent. Cool, that's fine. No one gives a fuck.
But as
Or
parents,
at
we
least
got to
not use
protect
your
our
not,
kids, though.
or at least don't use your adult page to show your family.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta, that's just protecting your kids
Yeah.
by not doing that. And yeah, that's bad. And maybe they just don't get it. I don't know, but
I don't. I also I often hear, I want to show my fans that I'm a real person. They know you're a real person.
mhm.
Or at least
And they don't
cover,
care
or at
about
least
that.
cover the picture of your family.
They're not hoping to see you as a real person. They're hoping to see you play with yourself or get fucked. They're not they're not worried about you, what you're doing in your, well, they like to, I guess, see when you're going to different places and you post
That's
your pictures
something different because
because they're looking at you thinking, ooh, baby. But
right,
oh,
that's a
they don't care
personality.
about
Ooh,
your
she
personal life.
just went to Hawaii. Oh, that's something totally different. But even if I
Mhm.
had kids and I went to Hawaii with my kids, I don't have to show my kids while I'm at Hawaii.
Mm-mm.
Not on my
Right,
porn page.
No,
right.
definitely
Mhm.
not.
I
You need
and
to
it's
make
women
time.
doing it. I rarely ever see men do it.
No, it's true. It's
No, I
mostly
don't see men
females.
post their children hardly at all, ever, anyways, in any of the social media as far as any of it
Because
goes.
I think men are a little bit more protective over the image of their kids. Like,
Yes, and they're the same way with their females too. You won't see them post their females a whole lot.
well,
I know females get
that's a
angry
different
about that
reason.
sometimes. Well,
That's a
yeah, there
different
could be
reason.
different
Now,
reasons too for that. I get that. But some men just, I feel like some men just don't like, they're just not about that. That's not their thing. They want to post their wives on their, like they're posting their tools or what they went fishing or whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I do know that some do it for a reason too. But yeah.
They don't want the many side pieces to know.
Right.
Yeah, or
I
yeah,
don't have
exactly. Or
nobody. I am
because the
single.
side pieces usually know her. They're afraid the side piece is gonna comment on
Right,
it.
right. No, I think definitely, especially in this industry, have y'all noticed more flakes? I already know what the question. This is rhetorical, but as far as the genders go, who flakes more?
I hate to say
Lakes,
it, but a lot of times it's the females.
A man's
I
gonna go
don't
get his
honestly
money.
know. I
I mean, like
can't
you
say.
can have males that flake, but a lot of times it's the females.
I would imagine so. I can't say my personal experience because I haven't had that much experience with producing. And so, I'm usually the one that needs to show up. But so I can't say from experience, but I would imagine that the female would be the one that flakes too, because females are just kind of can't
Lakey.
wait sometimes. Yeah.
So even for you, even for you, Angel, being a talent though, have you
Mhm.
had more experiences where like you might have set up a collab with a female and they didn't show, or a collab with a male and they didn't show?
Let me see. It's about 50-50, I think. I haven't really had too many collabs that didn't show, and if they didn't show, they actually let me know they couldn't make it, and they did. The one guy, actually, that I was supposed to shoot with in Chicago, I was so impressed. He wasn't able to make it. So he paid me half of what he would already was going to pay me because I didn't say anything to him. He offered, and I thought that was amazing. Yeah, it's been about half and
No,
half.
that's definitely because if I ain't make it, I just didn't make it. But
Yeah.
as long
I'm
as it's
not
like
reimbursed. Shit happens, but
right. So for me, maybe
Mm.
because I don't necessarily deal with too many men as far as needing them for scenes. So I would definitely say a lot more women have flaked on me versus men. Most of the men that I like dealt with, honestly, I think I
Mm.
get more love in this industry from the dudes in the industry than a lot of the females.
You know what? And that's funny because I tell you what, I was thinking also about going the route as far as like having like a modeling agency and introducing other, prospects to the industry. And I was thinking, I don't want to deal with females. I don't want to deal with them. I'd rather deal with the males because they're so serious. Like the males that are content creators and stuff that I've met are really good, like just good people, genuine people. And they're serious. We've got the ones out there that I don't think are too serious. You can tell by what their work looks like.
Yeah.
Because if you're not putting the effort into your work, you're more or less just trying to get laid by all these
Yeah,
chicks. And so
yeah.
I feel like some of
You have
these
to you have to put an
content
effort.
creators,
You have to put an
especially.
effort. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
see more effort in with the males because like I know a lot of females in the industry that are just, content creators or porn stars that don't know all the things that the males know about editing videos and, editing your pictures or every single thing there is to know. And I think that is so important. I've made sure that I know just as much as they do because I don't want, because like say for instance, you are waiting on content. You don't have to wait on them to edit it because we know, I'm sure you guys know how that can go sometimes too. You may never receive it, but you don't have to worry about that if you can edit your own shit. So
Speaking
I
of,
find that and not there's not enough females that are educating themselves in all aspects
so speaking of, I hit on
race.
two things that you brought up. One, I see more females
Mhm.
now getting into photography and videography.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. Kudos to you. Some people have hit me up for a little bit of guidance, and I give them, a little bit of knowledge of what I have. However, I hate the narrative that a lot of them are spinning in order to get work. A lot of them are spinning, well, you don't have to worry about no dude, just a lot of professional photographers and videographers don't push up on the girls.
They do not.
They don't.
Right,
So let's not
right.
push this narrative that all these dudes out be like, well, he won't, solicit, pictures for services. Well, let's be honest. A lot of women are offering up those services.
And I will
Right.
say this. When I started producing, because I did everything differently, because mostly they start off as models. No, I did it the opposite.
Yeah, you
I
do.
had a lot of females
Mhm.
that they would say to me, "Oh, this is so cool that you're a girl and you're filming," because these guys, there are a lot of guys with cameras. I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, but they have to start somewhere. And if you don't tell
Mhm.
them right off the bat what your boundary is, and you're lenient with certain things, then the guy's not going to know.
Right.
So you have to be
Right,
the one
right.
that has to be assertive and say, no, you don't do this. No, we'll do this.
Yeah. No,
Because when you put a
I've
stop
had
to it,
women offer me head for pictures and other stuff, and I'm like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good.
I used to
Head
have
head
this
head
joke.
doesn't keep these lights on.
I used to have this joke, right? When I would
Exactly.
walk into the set, where I would be like, I don't touch my models. They're the ones touching me because they would do that. They would
Right.
tickle me. I'm like, yo, what the fuck I look like, Elmo?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I do no.
Yeah, so I see a lot of female photographers now spewing that, and it's just a fucked up narrative because it's not. And even if there is mad dudes doing it, trust me, there's mad women offering. There because the dudes, most dudes are only going to do what women allow for the most
Oh
part.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
100%. I believe that 100%. I'm with you with that.
So if dudes walking up to a random, like if he walked up to Lady O and be like, "Hey, so I could take your picture. So what you gonna do for me?" That's only because he's already been programmed that way from other people he's dealt with.
Poor guy, he has no idea. I'll be like, "Are you clean? Did you wash it? Let me see. Let me inspect it. Get the fuck out of here."
right. Right. So I see that, and I'm just like, every time I see a female photographer, videographer say that, I'm just like, okay, that's cool. But
I personally started producing because I got tired of seeing everybody else's shit. So I figured, why don't I have my own shit out there that I like the way that it looks? I have the angles that I like,
mhm.
and that's that.
I agree. I'm 100% on like, cause I don't have, I don't have a marketer, I don't have a manager, all that stuff. Because I don't want anybody to have any like thing to do with my work, because I feel like I am the product. I don't want anybody representing me, because if anything happens, then the only person I can blame is myself.
Angel, you speak my language because that's what I often say. If I fail, it's because of me, not because of
Yep.
someone else.
Yeah, and I have a temper, so I'd rather get mad at
Yeah, you
myself.
look like. Are you a redhead?
I'm Auburn. I'm, as I guess you would call it, but yes, I'm a redhead and I'm a Scorpio, so the two don't mix well. So
She's a
Exactly.
firecracker.
yeah,
Right.
that's
100%.
definitely it.
So, what's something that's been going on? Like I said, 2024 has been quiet so far. But what's something that was going on in 2023 that you just had enough of? Besides the whole drama and all that, what's something else that at the end of 2023 you're just like, yo, if another motherfucker does this, I'm
I
done with
got
it.
tired of people all of a sudden not wanting to work with a person because one person had a disagreement with them. So they want you to go on that person's side without you hearing all angles of the story.
Yeah.
Their side, your side, and the actual story.
Right,
Because
right.
how are you going to judge something if you weren't there? It's
Right.
one-sided. And I think that that's so messed up because there's many people that are missing out working with others
Mhm.
because they want to be the sheep and follow without
Yeah.
knowing the whole story.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, people
That was
are
something I was
quick to
getting
jump
tired.
on the bandwagon before
Yeah,
they
and
know
that's something I was
the.
getting tired of seeing.
No,
Listen to both sides of the story before you open your mouth and say anything else.
no, 100%. And it was like I got blocked because I was friends with someone who was in a situation, and I was just like, I didn't even have shit to do with none of this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a, so something about me, I was in the military, so brotherhood I hold very dear, right? I don't even give a fuck what you got going on. You still my brother, right? We don't have to agree, but you still, I'm the same way I am in the industry, right? You are my dude, my brother, my sister, until you do something that has personally affected me, right?
Yeah.
So if you haven't done nothing that personally, I'm still rocking with you. I might say you a dumbass and why you do that, but still you know what I mean? So the situation goes to your point, Lady O. The situation was someone claimed they didn't get the content, but I know personally, dude has sent the same content 5 to 10 times. But what they wanted was the edited version
Uh,
of the content, right? But on Twitter, they left because that was another thing. I would say what I got tired of was people using certain trigger words. They knew by using these words would get the pitchforks and the torches up.
Mm-hmm.
So she used certain trigger words to paint it like dude never sent the content whatsoever. And it was like, no, he sent the content. He's even CC'd me on the delivery of the content. But because she said it, he's a shitbag, and he's this, and he's that. And it's like, no, dude did his part. If you want me to edit your scene, because technically it's your scene, although we may have done it together, and I don't feel like doing it, you gotta pay me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And if you don't pay me, here you go.
Your own damn scene. It's your own damn shit.
Figure the shit out.
Well,
Figure it out.
I would have to say my biggest thing that I am over is, and this is on the production companies that I have reached out to me. They reach out to me and they like, I want to work with you, and then I never hear back from them. That happens so often, and I even contact them back and still not get a reply. And so the producers can be kind of fucked up sometimes too.
They can
in this
be.
industry. Because some of them I'm like super excited. I'm like, oh, I'd love to work with you, you know? And then nothing. I didn't take my time out of my day to contact you to say I want to shoot with you. Then I can see if you didn't answer me, you know, whatever.
Do you think
But you don't reach out to me and ask me to work with you and then just ghost.
do
That's
you
not
think
cool.
it's they get, because I had to also learn this as well, you know, from the production to the talent side. There is so much influx of messages and DMs and this and that. Even to me, I'm pretty good with it. Like it's one of my common practices to check my messages every so often. That's just me. However, when I got back from Vegas, 5 different people wanted me to do 5 different things, and I did get a sensory overload. I'm like, listen,
Oh yeah.
fuck all these. I'm not doing shit till I'm ready to do whatever it is that I want to do, right? Because you can't have like that bombardment of so much going on at the same time. And also remember, a lot of the producers, if they're major, it's a little different because they have a budget and they kind of know who their team is. But as far as independent, maybe the cameraman's not around, so they're not necessarily, talking to you. They're aware that you're there, but they're not necessarily talking to you because, all right, I'm not going to set nothing up with you because I don't have this piece of the pie situated yet.
Right.
So it does take a little bit, and once you really dig deep into the production side, I think you'll understand it a little bit more, because sometimes I forget who the fuck I was talking to about what. That's why I really started getting to the call sheet, and I try to do everything at one time so it's done and out the fucking way.
Right.
If it's something that keeps going back and forth, now we're talking for a whole fucking month and nothing's been established. While I'm talking to you, I've already solidified some other shit over this way, and whenever I could get you in is whenever I could get you in at this point.
That's like the same thing. You have somebody telling you, oh, I'm going to be coming through your city, and these are the dates. So you say to them, well, okay, well, what, this is the dates that I'm available. What time? Well, I'll let you know when I set up my session or I set up my booking. Okay, well, then you get back to me. But then the time passes. Now you have that time slot that you had available for them filled because something else came up.
Right.
Someone else wants to shoot. Somebody else wants to work with you. And they're like, oh, but I have this time. Yeah, but you didn't get back to me in time to tell me anything. So now that time is filled. And sometimes those situations too.
Yeah. The timing, people aren't consistent at getting back to you quickly enough. And that's extremely important too because of that. Yes.
And for me, I like to schedule months in advance because I know what my budget is, right? So I'm not going to supersede my budget every month. I know what my monthly budget is. Now, if I don't shoot something this month, that monthly budget can go to next month where I could probably book do 2 shoots. But I also have this concept too. First come, first fucking serve.
Oh yeah.
And the first come, first serve is not you saying I'm interested in shooting with you and us talking here and there about the scene. First come, first serve is once I send you that email for the call sheet with the time, date, and location, you good. You don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Now, if you don't respond to the call sheet in time, that's a you problem.
Yep.
Because my call sheet does have where you have to accept it and all that. So if you don't accept it in time and someone else is coming in town, then that's a you problem. And that's what people have to realize. Like, this is a business. One monkey can't stop the show. Shit got to keep going on. So if you don't take this money, and I say this all the time, if you don't want this money, somebody wants this money.
Somebody else will want it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's crazy. I was gonna say something. I had something that I wanted to say towards what you just said, but I can't. It just went. It came and went.
It's like that, especially when you start talking about some real deep shit. Like, and this is the conversations I feel like so many people are scared to talk about in this industry. It's like it's all this fluff now. Anytime you talk about some real shit, people be like, whoa, hey, settle down. We can't be talking about this, you know? Versus, no, we need to talk about this real shit. Because if you don't have your foundation straight as far as the business goes, listen, you know how many people I know go to conventions on one-way fucking tickets hoping to make that fucking money and all their shoots canceled? Now, when they had this $1,000 rates, now they doing whatever for $200 just so they get home.
Right.
I don't go nowhere if I don't know how I'm going to get back.
Oh,
or where I'm going to lay my head.
No way. I'd be so scared the whole time. I couldn't ever enjoy myself. I would be stressing and thinking I'm not going to make it back home.
I don't get it. I've never understood that. How?
Like, if you don't have the money for your round trip ticket or for a place to stay, or you don't have anybody that you can make arrangements with so you could split the room with, then you don't need to go.
But that's the problem.
Adults are becoming children again. They're acting like children, a lot of them, because they're doing things that grown folks should know not to do or to do, you know?
This is true.
And that's the problem is, like I said, first of all, how you don't have money? How you popping all this pussy and dick and don't have money?
Exactly. You ain't doing something right. Something's not going well for you.
You doing all this shit, and I don't get it. And maybe it's not for me to understand, but
right.
If y'all would have,
I guess that's all good, you know.
If y'all would have met me in my 20s, yo, my dick would have paid for all this shit.
That's funny.
I just don't like. I don't give like even. I think we saw each other at the party, the white party, right?
Yeah, Holly Huntress introduced us.
That was the only party I went to that whole fucking trip.
Me too. It's the only one I went to.
I was there to work.
That one very long.
Yeah, I was there to fucking work. I don't give a fuck about being seen. I don't care about nothing. Hey, who wants to? You ready to work? Cool, let's go. That's all I was there for.
About the networking when I'm at these places, I'd rather network than shoot. I mean, of course, I want to get some shoots in because that's important too.
Right.
But I feel like networking may be more important than the actual shooting sometimes.
It is, but a lot of these people don't know how to properly network.
No, they don't. And that's
Right.
something that they need to learn how to do. And a
So,
lot of times
Lady O,
they
how
don't
would
do that.
you teach them? What would be some stuff that you would say, hey, this is how you properly network?
When you are networking, you don't take into consideration what exactly the category the person shoots. You don't give a shit about their political concerns or religious concerns or anything. You want to network with the person because the person has this name, because you want to gain those same followers. You want to collaborate with the person so that way your followers can follow this person and vice versa. And that I think is a problem now, because people, instead of saying, hey, I want to network with this person because this person has been in the business for 20 some odd years and they've done zillions of movies and it will be a good thing if I have them in my clips. They're busy looking at their page, looking at what their political stance is, what their religious views are, and they try to say, oh, I don't want to work with this person because this. It doesn't matter what the person does
That's
behind
what it
closed
all comes
doors.
down to it. It's
No,
about the money. As
it's
long as
about the
they're not
money.
hurting you, your political views can be whatever it
Exactly.
is.
It's about the money. And I've seen this with people where instead of making moves by networking with someone that would benefit their career, they're stuck on stupid with, no, I don't want to work with that person because they're friends with this person and that person is a Republican or that person is a Democrat. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah. Yeah, that's so
Go
lame.
to a party, or you go to an event, you say, hi, how you doing? If you have a business card, whip that shit out. And if you don't, hey, this is what I do, this is my Twitter, this is my Instagram, maybe we can chat about a shoot later on. You can tell them right there on the spot, I shoot this, I shoot that, or I shoot a variety.
Can I ask you a question? Since you guys probably know the answer to this, and I try to do this myself, and I just wanted to see if this stands out to you guys and what you think about it, is I always follow up with everyone I meet. I either text them whatever way I can. I try to follow up because I feel that leaves a good impression. Now, what do you guys think about that? Do you
Yes. What
appreciate that?
depending where you meet them, you say, hey, it was nice talking to you at
I'm
such and
such and
such,
such because people fucking
you know.
forget.
Yeah, be like,
Right.
here are some of my links in case you want to, review some of my work. I do a
Mhm.
variety of different things. I produce, I promote, and I also star in some of my productions,
Mhm.
and I
Right.
do everything. And be like, I do fighting, I do this, I do wrestling, I do cat fighting and boxing, whatever you name it, I
Right.
will do it. And if you don't see it, give me
Uh,
your ideas and we can do it.
Worker, yeah.
okay.
So yeah, I'll definitely piggyback off what Lady O said. I
Mhm.
did that recently. I met someone at the white party as well. I think the next
Mhm.
day I was like, "Hey, I'm such and such." And she's like, "Send me a picture," and I sent her a picture. She's like, "Oh, okay." When we got back here in Florida, we ended up shooting like a week later. You know what I mean? Um,
Okay.
that's a little overzealous because I really
Mhm.
wanted to work with her. You see what I'm saying? Some people's not
Mhm.
necessarily going to turn out that way.
Mhm.
It's really good to do it. I know a better way and
Mhm.
non creepy and not imposing way to do it. And it's to do on
Mhm.
Twitter. It's to say, hey, especially like really big people that you really, really want to work with, just
Mhm.
down the thread. Hey, it was really great to meet, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
Done.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
Versus jumping in everyone's DMs because everyone just I've noticed so many
People
Yeah.
don't
people are
check them.
weird about DMs, but if you do it that
Right.
way, people be like, oh, or like if you took pictures with them to tag them in the
And you can
picture and da,
tag
da,
them. It was nice meeting
Right.
this person, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah. That's
Another
another way
question
to.
too, I gotta, this is before
go
I
ahead.
forget, I forget. Um, Now I have several people that have given me their phone number, and I go back and forth with this all the time because once they give me their phone number, I'm wondering, should I hit them up on their phone number or do I only hit them up on their phone number, at
I'm weird
certain
on that
times?
too.
I always am wondering about that.
I'm weird about that too. I have a second phone. I've really, this year especially, and I'll tell you why I started doing it. But I started giving people that number because that phone's
Mhm.
not with me at all times. So when I get home or whenever I'm chilling, I can look over and be like, oh, okay, I'll hit them up. So the reason I started doing that was I was becoming too familiar to too many people and they had my direct number and they would want me to
Right.
stop whatever the fuck I was doing to entertain them, and I got super annoyed of that. So now
Right.
my personal number or whatever, I would never, starting forward, never give anyone my personal number unless there were people that I'm super, super cool with. Everybody else gets the other number.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right. Because I always wondered, I know there's someone that I've shot with several times. He was kind of irritated because he had given me his number, and I still, after that, I mean, after we had done, the last shoot and before I gave him my number, then I started to contact him through DMs again. And so I just was kind of wondering how, that was as a whole, because I don't know.
So if
Sometimes I'm
someone has a
well,
problem with that, say, hey, I'm keeping
mhm.
it professional.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's only certain, I have certain people's numbers, but as far as me texting them, or calling them, it
Mm,
has to be someone that I'm actually close with, or if it's something that's
mm,
super important. Otherwise, I'll use the IG DMs or the Twitter DMs, or I'll email.
right. Yeah, I try to do that too. I just don't feel comfortable doing that because I feel like
Especially,
they would get more insulted if you contact them on the phone and they don't want you to contact them on the phone than they would if you contacted them through DMs and they didn't want that.
especially for you wanting to be more on the production side, you're just setting
Mhm.
that tone. I'm gonna tell you,
Right.
some of the biggest failures I've seen with so many, producers. And I don't want to necessarily use them in quotation marks, but it is what it is. They get too familiar,
Mm,
and when you get too familiar, that fucks your bag up because now
right.
you're too close in like if they know you're Switzerland, people
Mm,
kind of keep you out of the mess, right? But if you're cool with
mm,
this clique and really super cool with that clique, and
It
it,
gets you
it
in
fucks your
trouble.
money up. It does. It's
It
happened to
does.
me
really?
several fucking times. And I'm just like, the fuck? Like, I don't have nothing to do with none of this shit. But it does
Right.
fuck with your money up.
It does.
So the more to the point, clear cut you are, the
Mm,
better it's going to be. Yeah, some people are going to be like, damn, she cold, or she, you know what I mean? I'd rather be fucking cold than Boo Boo the Fool.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because you start, any extra added comments could turn around and bite you in the ass, I guess, huh?
And you
Or
have
the
to
least you
separate,
said, better.
you
And a
have
lot
to
of and a
separate
lot of
yourself
times
from Angel the model and Angel the production.
And a lot of times
Right.
what happens is people become too comfortable with you. And
Mm,
because they see you now as the friend versus
mm,
the producer they're working with or the model that they're working with, they feel
right.
entitled to certain things because they're your friend. And
Right. And
that
then that's
becomes the
not
problem.
business anymore. Right. I get, okay. All right. Thank
And
you.
trust me, people
Becomes
use that word, that term friend, not
Mm,
necessarily for the right reasons. There's a lot of manipulating people in this industry.
Mhm.
And
oh,
they will use,
yeah.
if they know that you hold that word dear and true to your heart, they will
Mm,
definitely use it to get whatever the fuck they need out of you. And then as soon as you tell them no, you're the
Yes.
bad guy.
yeah.
Then you're the bad guy. I think
Yeah.
we discussed this where I had someone that I was friendly with. We even grew up in the same neighborhood, though at that time I didn't know them. But it was something that bonded us together. And then they had a situation, they had a feud with someone. I was going to work with that person. If you were my friend, you would not hire them. No, that's not the way this works.
Oh, yeah.
I was
And
like,
you will
that's
hear that a lot. You, as a production, you
mm-hmm.
will definitely, if they know you give a fuck. Once they know you don't give a fuck, people stop using that. But they be like,
Right.
oh, you working with them? Huh. I
Oh,
thought we
and
were
I will
better
feed
than
into
that.
that. There's
Yep.
no way I'll feed into that because I'm a big person that I just stay in my own lane. I don't want to know nobody else's business. I don't want to hear nobody else's drama. I don't want nothing to do with it. So that's a good thing. I'll be
Lady,
fine with that part of
you
it.
you won't have a choice in that. I hate to tell you that. A
Yeah.
Lady O could probably tell you the same thing. I've had women walk in, and as soon as they walk in, they're telling me everything.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Every fucking thing. And you're like, so you're ready to shoot? because if you don't, you also have to wrangle them in, because if you don't,
Oh yes, yes, I've
it'll
seen
be
it.
a
I've
2 hour
shot with other
situation,
women.
and you're like,
Yeah.
so I got shit to do. Like,
Yeah, because they're putting their makeup on and taking forever.
oh, also,
I don't have the patience to take that long doing my
also in my call sheet,
Mm,
in parentheses, it says "come makeup ready" because I've learned my lesson on that shit too.
Because
yeah,
sometimes one person can take 5 minutes to put on makeup, another can take 3 hours.
yes, I've seen it for
So
sure.
do this shit at your house and ride
Mm,
out. You could do like light touches, but
mm.
come makeup ready. I don't have time
Oh
for that
yeah.
shit. And people
And
don't
hygiene.
respect your space. They'll just upload all their makeup shit all over your counter and shit. Nah, I don't have time for that.
Hygiene,
Right.
that's a big one.
What's that?
Oh, hygiene, that's a big
Oh
one.
gosh. Do you have a
And
lot of people that show up dirty?
oh my God. And it goes for everything. It goes for wrestling. It goes for everything. So that's why I always tell people, wash everything. Be prepared. I don't care if you're doing just a wrestling move and your face sitting on someone. Think about the
Mm,
fact that you could be very stinky. And the
right.
person
Yeah.
underneath you doesn't need that. And the same thing goes for adult. If you know
Yeah.
you're going to be engaging in adult activities, wash yourself.
Yeah.
Hell,
Yeah.
wash yourself again when you get to the scene. Get to the shoot before you do the scene. There's
Mm,
there's no excuse for having a smelly penis, a smelly ass, a smelly vagina. There's no
right.
excuse. No
That's
excuse.
No.
why I kind of like shooting in my place, because I literally could just go in the shower, uh, get ready about 30 minutes before the talent gets here. I'm already freshened up. The set's already set. I'm good. So I don't want to be the smelly person on the scene.
No, no, I don't, because I know how this industry is. They like to too much. I'd hate to be the
Mhm.
stinky one.
And trust me, you see videos being leaked of someone shit stains and everything else. This industry, this industry, like you said, are a bunch of adults, but they're kids.
Yeah, they act like they're in high school.
They're at
Yeah.
and oh my god! And I got out of high school well over 20 years ago. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good on
for
that shit.
sure.
Let's conduct business. Let's make this money together, and let's move the
Mhm.
fuck on.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to change gears because
Okay.
this is a great conversation. We could probably go for days on this shit. So, one thing I wanted to touch on, and I'm glad that I have a model, and glad I have a producer. So, how do y'all come up with a producer, the rates that you're going to accept, and B, the rates that you're going to give to a producer?
I'll let you, because you probably have a better, go ahead, you go first.
It all depends on whether I'm shooting fighting, fetish, or adult. It also depends how many videos I plan to do within the hour. Because some people want to charge you rates by video. Some people want to charge you hourly rate. So if I'm going to do a shoot, I usually do 1 hour or 2 hours, especially if it's like a fetish shoot. So I'll say, hey, what is your hourly rate?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what they say to me, I'll say yay or nay,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's fetish. If it's adult, I understand that certain scenes, certain girls want to charge certain things. And if it's not a collab and we're not trading the content, I'll ask, what is your rate for this?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
If it's within my means, then I'll say yes to the shoot. Otherwise, no. But I prefer I prefer to get an hourly rate versus a
A
rate by
scene
video.
rate?
Yeah. I rather get an hourly rate because that way I know in my head how many videos I can shoot within that amount of time.
And
Versus
before you answer,
nervous.
Angel, so
Mm.
I get it because the fetish realm and the porn realm
Mm.
operate two different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
Uh,
I totally get that. I still, to the point, even when a fetish model hits me up and be like, this is my rate per hour.
mm.
So does this include this? Because I only need you for a fucking hour.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
And then you just see some be like, Well, okay. So give me whatever the scene rate's going to be then, because I'll bang them in. I'll hire you multiple times if this is what it is. Then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So go ahead,
Well,
Angel.
I will have to tell you that I just had to kind of do my research because, as I'm sure you know, there's not a guide out there that tells you how much you're going to make or how much you should charge. In fact, I had somebody lash out at me because when I first started, I put an ad out in what is it? I can't even remember the name, but it's a place where you can find work as an adult actor.
Sexy jobs.
Yes, that's it. And I put an
That
ad out
place is
there, and
hell.
I
That
got
place is
that's how I
hell.
I first got my first few scenes, and I got paid actually quite well, from what I understand, more than I should have been paid. Um, and so I based my at first I was basing on what I had already been paid. But now I base it on, I've never done the hourly rate. I don't even know what I would charge for an hourly rate. But I go by, I try to look at what the production company is producing, because I know that some production companies that come to me aren't as well established as others. And I want I'm always a helper. I want to help people. And so I don't mind asking for less if I know they have less. Because I also feel like content is king, and the more content you have out there, the more money you're going to make, no matter if it's yours or theirs or whatever.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then so I just have kind of asked around and asked people, what is it that you charge? And what is the average? And I've not just gone with one person's feedback. I've asked several people, so that I felt like I was, in tune with what was, the average rate. So I'm not asking too less or too little. So that's basically how I did it. And I prefer not to work over like 4 hours. I don't think that's not necessary. I feel like if you're working over 4 hours and you just fucking around, you're not working. But so like a 2 hour scene, depending on whether it's a BJ video or whether it's boy girl, or and then anal, I charge a whole lot for that, because I figured nobody's gonna want me to do it if I keep charging a whole lot for it. Somebody's
Right.
gonna call my bluff one day, and they're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah. They be like, "Oh, that's it. Here you go."
So
No,
yeah.
and so it's great that y'all threw out these examples, because I'm noticing the new wave of people. There used to be, prior to COVID, what we used to call industry standard. So industry standard used to say, depending on a blowjob scene, you could charge between this and this. If you're amateur, this and this. If you're pro-am, this and this. If you're mainstream, right? Now you have amateurs trying to charge what the mainstream actresses are making,
Oh yeah.
and then they get mad when you be like, nah.
There's even people that shoot fetish content that want to charge porn star prices
Right.
for something simple like a, a tickling video, a foot tickling video, or a
So
video where they're
I'm
getting
so
tied up.
I'm so curious. What's the highest you had for a tickler?
I had somebody that wanted me to pay them, okay, for one video, $800.
Huh?
And I was like, what? What do you do realize you're not naked in this video, right? You're not doing anything. Oh,
Really?
well, in that case, 400. I was like, it's one video and you're not really doing anything. You're not even fighting with the person. That's not the
So
rate.
was she new?
Yes. And I was like,
Yeah.
Well, I
And
would
I'm
get
noticing that.
I'm
It's
honestly getting paid pretty good, because that's about what I'm I
it was,
thought that was
but that's
I thought that
hard.
was
That's
a
hardcore
small
though.
account or a small amount. That's not small.
and
How
you
much
know,
for
and you know
you?
what's funny? that meanwhile, back at the ranch, I had someone that is well established. They've been in porn for a while, and I only needed to shoot with them for 2 hours, and we weren't even doing porn. We were doing wrestling. And she
Right.
gave me her day rate. She was like, hey, for this amount of money, for $1,000, you could have me for the rest of the day. I said, I don't need you for the rest of the fucking day. What am I doing you all day? Hang out?
Right.
Wow.
I only need you for 2 hours.
Right.
No, but it was such a difference from the newbie that wanted 800 for one video.
And they get mad because they're like, those are the same ones be like, this industry sucks. Everyone's broke. No one's booking me. Yeah. Why?
Not at
Why would
those
they book
prices.
you? I mean,
Right.
seriously, why?
And
Like,
then I
what
also-
is it about you that makes you feel like you're an $800 tickling model?
And then I also had another instance, which was kind of funny. We might have discussed this, where I was friends with this particular porn star. She would brag all the time about, I'm a porn star. And I was like, yeah, but you don't know how to suck dick properly.
Oh no. Did you
Right?
tell her this really?
I would, and I would tell her this. Okay. So there was a scene, and I needed her to suck this guy's penis. That was, it was a BJ scene.
Yeah.
She wanted me to pay her a certain amount. And I said to her, I'll pay you that amount if you do it properly.
Oh,
Damn. I'm
damn.
telling her what to do. And she's like, if you don't like the way I do it, I said, if I was to stop the camera, give you the camera, and I start doing this BJ
I ain't
scene,
paying you
you'll be out of a
shit.
job. You'll be
Yeah,
out of a fucking
you
job.
can just go the fuck home. I'll do it myself.
And that was also a lesson, because just because someone is a porn star doesn't necessarily mean that they know how to do sexual acts correctly.
Wow, yeah.
I'm not gonna
A
lie,
lot of
and
women don't know how to do that anyways.
I'm not gonna lie, and a lot of people gonna hate me. You know, I've kind of switched gears in hiring more fetish models lately. These fetish models been doing their fucking thing. You hear me? I'm like, Jesus Christ. What? Like monsters.
Wow.
Monsters. Versus the porn girls are like, you know what I mean?
That's too funny.
I'm like, hold up, you're supposed to be gobbling this dick. Like, don't play with it. Do show it what it is. Like, yo, I'm telling you, these fetish models been like. So I've switched gears, and no ding to porn stars, but the fetish models could actually act.
Because some of them actually took acting lessons, but that's not to say that there aren't porn models that know how to act. There's some that do, and some that
but
Yeah,
I've been
there's
greatly
the
disappointed.
redhead
Greatly
from
disappointed.
regular acting to get into porn.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but she's quite popular, the redhead.
Oh, you talking about Maitland Ward? Yeah, she was a real actress.
Yeah.
Hollywood. Yes. No. And it doesn't take, listen, to act, it doesn't take a lot. But I could give a script, and I've proven this. I could give a script, not a whole bunch of words by you. This is not Shakespeare. To a porn star. And that shit's gonna get fucked up. I'm gonna have to cut so many goddamn times because she ain't gonna know what. Even if I say improv the rest, this is just your motivation. This is just your guideline. Figure the rest out. Fucked up. I could give this same script to a fetish model and be like, be yourself. You would think it was Martin Scorsese they were fucking, acting for.
Yeah, because I'm good at that too. Because I know I didn't realize that you had that trouble because they tell me what to say, and basically Mars Black, I shoot with him quite a bit, and he's like, I did a scene, Davina Rains and I did a scene with him, and it was just a practice part, and it turned out so good, the first practice scene, that we just kept it.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it was so great that, we didn't have to, cut it and reshoot it. And I just, but I guess that is an issue that you guys go through, is having to cut the scene like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
it's
and
basically
this is the
usually
thing,
not
right?
a long script, like you said.
So say the 800 girl, right?
Mm,
You would say, this is what I need. I
mm,
need you to be like this. If I'm paying you $800,
mm,
this is what I need. And they say they could do everything that you said that you needed, right?
mm.
Say action if you want to. They ain't give you shit that you asked for.
Wow.
Not one thing. You could have gave them a list of 10. They ain't doing one thing you asked them for. And you'd be like, I'm really about to pay you. I've had scenes where I've been more disappointed to give them the money than I was of the like. This shit is just like, what is this?
Wow.
And there you have too many models in quotations be like, yeah, I could swallow the whole dick. I could do this. I could do that. And then when you get to it, every 5 seconds, when the dick jab in their esophagus, they're like, cut, cut, cut. Like, I thought you were a throat goat.
I gotta ask you a question too, because this has been on my mind for a while. What do you think about the women that slobber? Oh,
I love a sloppy head.
you like that?
Yeah. I
See,
want it.
that is
I'm not
not
even
your
gonna
thing.
lie. I'm not I'm
Because
a
I
nasty.
just get
I'm a
started running down
I,
you.
I'm a nasty motherfucker, right? So
Right?
I'm gonna start off by saying that I'm a nasty motherfucker, okay? So I want, when I get up, there to be a puddle under me.
Really?
Oh
Okay.
my God. What?
Yeah.
So I don't need just sloppy head, because there's a difference.
Mm,
Right? You could spit all on the shit and be super sloppy and I don't feel nothing.
mm.
You need to love and enjoy
Oh
what
yeah.
you're doing
Oh
while you're
God,
being
that's the only way
sloppy.
I think a woman can be good at it, because we're so easy to sense when somebody's not enjoying it, and it fucks it up for us.
Mm-hmm.
It fucks with us too. When I'm just like, oh, you don't really like penis, huh? You know what I mean? If
Right. Yeah.
I
What the fuck are you doing this type of work for? Yeah.
oh, I got you. You just here for them. Like, I I understand where tricks feel. You know what I mean? Where tricks feel like they be like, "Oh, you just here for the money." Yes, we know y'all are just here for the money, but don't make us feel like you're just here for the money,
Right.
right?
And if you're still here for the money, doesn't mean you can't do the best job that you can do.
But if
100%.
this is my whole thing, if you're
If you,
doing
what's that?
particular scenes, put your best effort. Because
Yeah.
Because
people are
because
watching, people are judging as they're watching.
Yes, and that's
Put
gonna
your
get
best
you more
effort into
money.
doing it.
because
Yeah,
if
anything that you do reflects on your money, because people are out there seeing it, and it's
the
publicized.
the few pussy eating videos that I got out here in this universe, I am devouring that shit. You hear me? You feel, like I'm making it seem like I haven't eaten in days.
That's the other thing too. Why are you just gonna give it a couple licks? No, fucking get all in there.
I am
Yeah.
hold up.
all in there.
I am taking it, getting all the juices, spitting it back on there, slurping that back up. Like I am nasty with the shit, right? Because I feel like if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it.
Right.
I'm
Go
not
all
gonna
in.
because I don't want you to play with my dick. I ain't gonna play with your pussy.
Right.
Go all in.
All in. I might even, you know how the rock wallers be shaking their heads and shit? I might do that shit too. Like, no, stop playing. We here for a job, but because guess what, right? Even if the scene don't sell well for me, but me and your chemistry was great, and I know you enjoyed doing what you wanted to do, I'm gonna book you again.
Yeah, especially because there's so many people out here that are unreliable. You find one that's reliable. They might not be the best one for the scene, but you know they're going to show up.
Listen, I had a scene. I'm gonna tell this story. I had a model from Germany, right? She did a dry bone scene. And it was just a hand job shit, but she let me paint her face. I was happy, right? So after the scene, you know how a woman like really likes the dick that she's playing with? She really enjoyed the dick that she was playing with. So she's like, can I take a picture with it?
Oh wow! Was that a first for you, or is that something?
Yeah, I don't think I know, like, you know, we do little shit here and there for the scene or whatever, but she was like, no. And then so we took a picture. We took a we took a picture of it, right? And then she comes back later and she's like, can I do like a 20-second video? And I was like, yeah, you can. You can.
She made your day.
Yeah. So, but I know, like, okay, I will hire her back because that was dope. Like, I know she actually enjoyed what she was doing. I want to work with models that legit enjoy what they're doing, not just doing shit just to say they're doing shit. That's boring.
Yeah.
That's boring as hell. And when you really start getting in the realm of production, you're going to catch the ass. I'm telling you, because you're going to be like, especially if you know, put the money into the locations and all the you know, videographer and all this shit. And you're gonna be like, yo, y'all coming here to play with this shit? Nah, hell nah. I put too much money into this.
Here's another thing too that you might run into, because I've run into it. Sometimes I would book a space for maybe 3 hours or 4 hours, when in reality I only needed like 2 hours. So I would allow my models, if they wanted to trade with each other so that we can kill the other 2 hours that I already paid for, that they could do it, which was fine. However, then you had people that took advantage of that, where I hadn't even finished shooting what I needed to shoot, but then they wanted to step in and shoot their thing. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, producer here. I have to finish 2 more videos. You must wait. And they would storm off and throw a tantrum. I'm sorry, did we forget why you're here today? Did we forget who paid for this area today?
Right.
You know?
Oh goodness, I might have to end up shooting gay guys or something.
Oh, you think it's easy on that side of the fence? Okay.
It's worse.
Okay, don't let that fool you. Do you I don't know, do you smoke?
I do.
So nothing's gonna piss you off more than other smokers on your dime.
Oh, you think? Yeah.
Oh my, what?
But because how many times? Because if the scene's only an hour or too long, how many times?
And I took about 10 cigarette breaks. Yeah. And think about it. And so you getting a little bit of knowledge before you really step in the deep end. Models that you pay per hour, that's their trick. Oh, I'm a smoke or I'm a talk as much as possible, because now if we go over this hour, now they owe me another hour.
It sounds like a very stressful situation. Are you guys getting paid for the? I mean, do you feel like you're being rewarded with
for
money?
Dry bone? For dry bone, I do, right? Because dry bone's really been taking off lately. That's why I'm stepping away from hardcore, because all the stuff that I went into doing into hardcore scenes doesn't equate to the stress, like you said, that I went through for it. Dry bone, most models are in and out within an hour. Right. And that's post interview, pre interview, scene, cleanup, paperwork, all that shit, in and out, done. Right. Hand you your money, you out of my hair. Versus hardcore scenes is more into it. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. The only thing I gotta do for real with dry bone is get my dick hard for a hand job or a blow job. That's the extent of that.
Right.
So as you get into it, you will find out what niches benefit you more and which ones you just like to do for fun. Do the ones for fun. So, like, for instance, if someone wants to do a boy girl scene, in my mind, that's a collab because I'm not paying you to do some shit that I don't really necessarily need.
Right. Right.
So you have to figure out, as a producer, you got to figure out your budget, what you're willing to realistically lose and not be mad at,
Okay. Okay.
and what you want to shoot. And don't get it twisted. These models will try to dictate your pace on what you shoot. If you have outfits that you want them to specifically wear, if you have them with lines that you specifically want them to say, all that, you are paying the money. They do what you want to do, or else you just get somebody else that can.
Oh
And
yeah.
also,
Yeah, for sure.
if you're shooting something that requires them to wear a specific outfit and you already told them in advance what outfit they had to bring, and then they show up to the set and they don't have any of the things that you asked them to bring,
Wow.
that's a problem too. That's why
Maybe
I
I'll make sure
eliminated.
I have my own. I'll have because
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing. I've been collecting like different sizes of lingerie that I see for, a decent price. Because I figured I was just gonna have it's gonna be like, they're a little kid again, just being able to go through it because that's what I did when I shot with someone, one of my first the first people I shot with. They had two huge garbage bags full of clothing and costumes. And I just loved it. I felt, I was playing dress up again,
Because
females
I've had
look pretty and they
situations.
like to dress up. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I think now that I heard that, I'm gonna make sure that you to keep doing it.
And it's crazy because I didn't even know that you were looking at being but more behind the camera, but having two experienced producers on the same panel with you. Trust me, you could choose to learn your own lessons or you could choose not to.
Yeah,
Choose not to, because I've lost, and Lady O probably could say the same thing, thousands of dollars doing
it's
some
so
bullshit.
funny how things just fall in my lap, because I just reached out to you, or you had a poll up, and I reached out to you, and here I am, and I'm getting great advice. And yeah, things just have been, since I've been doing the whole mainstream and that, everything just kind of falls into place for me. I mean, I work hard, of course, we all
Right.
do. But it's just been so funny how things just fall. And I think it's because if you're doing right, good shit happens. If you're a good person, good stuff's gonna come back to you. If you're a shitty person and you do shitty work, you're gonna get shitty back. I'm
No, 100%, and remain humble, right? Because
Mhm.
that, like I said earlier, when you're climbing over the backs of people, other people, that fall
Mhm.
be a motherfucker for real.
Right.
Remain
And don't be
humble, do
afraid.
your thing.
And don't be afraid to try new things, or to be creative. Just because someone else hasn't done it before, that doesn't mean that this is the only way that it has to be done. Explore, like
Okay.
try. If it works out and it sells, fine, you got a winner. If it doesn't, you try again. You try something different. Don't be afraid to think outside of the box. There
Okay.
were many genres that I tried that with, and hey, now they happen to be cool. There wasn't really that many females doing muscle worship. It was only the males muscle worshiping. I started muscle worshiping. It's pretty good now.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah,
doing that.
good. Yeah, because I noticed, like, as far as content that I sell on many vids and OnlyFans and that, like some of the best-selling content that I have is water sports, which I don't mind doing water sports, but it's such a mess to clean up after, but and I
It's a
just
big thing.
how that happened with me is I was working on a site called Panty Deal, and guys would come to you and ask for custom videos. And I had several different guys that had that water sports fetish. And so I said, fuck it, I'll try it, and they've been and they still, to this day, I have a video that I sold that I made 12 years ago. And it's still one of my best selling videos.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that that's a good way to look at like the niches that aren't really being catered to,
Yeah.
even though you think you're not going to make any money because there might not be a whole lot of people liking that niche. There's not many people catering to it, so you're making money off of it. I think
And
that.
Hell, and even for something like that, if you don't want to do it in the tub, get yourself one of those inflatable pools.
Yeah, get your flavor.
That's the
Yeah.
Right.
And so,
Right.
and I'll say this and I end on that, something that this industry is very much lacking in is creativity. So as long as you do one step above what someone else does, like that's how I got this to dry bone. Someone dry humped me. I was like, this is not bad. How can I put my little spin on it though?
Okay.
Now it's a whole thing by itself. So we're gonna go ahead and close out. I had a phenomenal time talking shit with y'all, you ladies, and it was very insightful. And I love this. Me and Lady O known each other for some years. Angel, like I said, we just met formally at AVN. But go ahead, Angel. Tell people what projects you got going on. Tell them where they can find your stuff at and all that.
Well, I'm in the works of creating could end up being a 50 series video thing. And it's going to be called Gilfs Go Wild. I've gotten the domain name down and I'm working on it. I'm working really hard on it. And I basically say it's going to be two Gilfs traveling the United States in an RV. That's about all I'm going to say.
Okay.
You can go from there. So I'm really excited about that and look for that because I'm hoping to market it really well beforehand so it gets some hype. And you can find me at many vids under Ms. Grave, Twitter, Angel Grave 8, IG, All Hello Productions, and OnlyFans, Angel Grave 8.
All right.
So I think I got them all.
All right, Lady O, go ahead and talk your shit.
You can find me at Clips for Sale, Gumroad, Loyal Fans, and Twitter, Lady _Oyanka. IG, the same thing, Lady _Oyanka. And as far as projects coming up, I have a shoot with Goddess Anat, which is a rare shoot because she's really not shooting anymore. And I'm going to be working with her March 8th. I'm looking forward to that. As far as big projects, I am training. I've been training since November because I'm trying to get a little bit more muscular. And I'm trying to slim down the panza because I do want to challenge somebody openly, 2 people actually, once October hits to see if they'll actually fight me.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to make sure and follow you because I'm very interested in checking that out. And it was a pleasure to meet you.
She got some fire content, especially lately.
I got some crazy.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I get it. I get that. You must be in it.
No, I'm not. I want to.
Oh, okay.
She don't have me yet.
Like, I'm in it.
Yeah, she haven't had me yet. And you already know how I like it too. So
you were wishing that was you.
I was so mad. When you're scrolling through Twitter, you be like, this motherfucker. Like all right. So it's your boy Hektek from Hektek Desires. You can find me on all social media under Hektek Desires. This is the show Whatever by Hektek by me. You can find this on Spotify, released every Saturday at 12 p.m. That's where I have it at right now. If you haven't gone and followed, go ahead and follow it. Just go to Spotify, type in Whatever by Hektek, spelt the same way. It'll come up. There's already several episodes up there now. Go ahead and give me a follow, like, a share, a retweet, all that shit. Also, the Whatever by Hektek IG is Whatever by Hektek spelled out on IG. On Twitter, it's We by Hektek. Simple. We by Hektek. See how I played on words like that?
We by Hektek. There you go.
We by Hektek. So go ahead and give us a follow. Like I said, I greatly appreciate you, ladies. Hold up. and I'll go ahead and give y'all a little something on your way out. Oh, not that one. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to slap
You're
y'all.
spanking
Sorry.
people.
Well, there we go. That's the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted. All right. Good night. Enjoy.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.